When searching for the best anime crossover of all time, one crossover that consistently makes an appearance, and is even ranked number one on many lists online, is the two-part crossover special, Dream 9 x Toriko x One Piece x Dragon Ball Z Super Collaboration Special. Now, keen viewers of this channel know that I've already briefly discussed Dream 9 in a previous video. The link to that will be in the description, and the title card right here. However, I wish to speak about it today because I'm curious whether Dream 9 lives up to the hype that's built for itself. I mean, it's a crossover with two of the most popular and influential anime of all time, while also featuring Toriko, an anime that, although I have no personal history, was wildly popular at Shonen Jump at the time, consistently making the top 10 in popularity throughout its run, and even making the top 3 on several occasions. So with all this star power backing it, the Dream 9 special must be the best crossover of all time, right? Well, that's what we're here to find out. So without further ado, let's look back at Dream 9 to decide, does it live up to the hype? The special begins with contestants getting ready to begin the Tastiest Under the Heavens tournament, which is a race. Have fun figuring that one out. But the name is at least a fun nod to the Tenkaichi Budokai, which roughly translates to the Strongest Under the Heavens tournament. All to win the marvelous prize of a very rare and delicious meat called the Karat Sizzled Cattle. And of course, some familiar faces are competing. Android 18, Goten, Trunks, Gohan, the Straw Hats excluding Robin and Usopp, some Toriko characters, and of course, our main trio, Goku, Luffy, and Toriko. So the race begins, and immediately 90% of the contestants are swallowed up by a giant sinkhole created by an even bigger monster. Just roll with it. We are now only left with our characters that we care about. Convenient. And at this moment, Dream 9 highlights something I really appreciate. You see, when Toriko and his crew interact with the Straw Hats, they all refer to each other as if they've already met. Because they have. One Piece and Toriko have already had 2 separate crossovers before this episode. In fact, the first episode of Toriko features One Piece characters. This is because both shows aired on the same channel in Japan on the same day, as well as the friendship/rivalry between the creators of both One Piece, Eiichiro Oda, and Toriko, Mitsusushi Shimabukuro. It's nice to see these non-canon crossovers having continuity within themselves. It makes the crossovers more impactful because they're allowed the ability to build off one another, at the very least in terms of character interactions. Our characters split up into different groups as they are faced with a fork in the road. The main trio of the special, Goku, Luffy, and Toriko, do the most direct route by climbing the mountain, while the supporting characters split into either the forest or the desert. This is done so we can split up our rather large cast of characters into more digestible groups, and so we can highlight specific character traits. For example, in the desert, Frankie's excited to meet another cyborg, and thinks it's super cool, all the while 18 ignores him.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Eventually, the main trio make it to the top of the summit and are almost ready to finish the race when King Kai tells Goku that he needs him to defeat some nameless universal threat. So Goku is forced to leave to take care of that. Which is just the in-universe reason why Goku doesn't just smoke the other 2 protags in the race, as he arrives back on the planet just in time to reach the goal at the exact same time as Luffy and Toriko. Also, we can have a 3-way brawl as the tiebreaker. Oh, and Hercule's here too. The fight is very fun overall given the restrictions of a crossover. Each protagonist gets a moment to showcase their techniques and transformations without overshining each other. Mostly. The fight does just evolve into Luffy and Toriko 2v1 and Goku. The fight concludes with a giant clash between our heroes that results in all 3 being ringed out, and the champ, Mark Hercule Satan, wins, as expected. I mean, who could honestly think any of these chumps could defeat the champ? Hail Satan! Hail Satan! Hail Satan! And that concludes part 1 of the Dream 9 collaboration special. A fun episode with great character interactions and an entertaining fight. But can part 2 live up to the quality of part 1? And more importantly, cement this crossover as the GOAT anime crossover? We'll find out. Now, we're gonna find out right now. Part 2 starts with Mr. Satan, the absolute Giga Chad that he is, sharing his reward with everyone and throwing a gigantic feast. At the feast, Robin, Piccolo, and Coco confront Mansam, the leader of IGO, the organization that created the tournament race thing, and he explains to them that the tournament was a ploy to draw the Akami, a seemingly harmless monster that feeds off the energy of living things to make itself more powerful. After it gives Gohan, Usopp, and the champ, the Suck, Our heroes split into teams to capture it. And I'm sure you can figure out what happens next. All of the teams except for the trio get sucked so hard they can no longer move, so now it's down to our protagonist to take Akami down. And oh boy, I thought the fight in part 1 was good, but it's very obvious the animators put everything they had in this final fight. I mean, just look at it. It looks 10 times better than the three-way brawl. However, despite all their efforts, our heroes still cannot defeat the creature. So Goku does what Goku always does in movies and specials, uses the Spirit Bomb. The final shot of Luffy, Toriko, and Goku using their strongest attacks to kill the Akami is gorgeous. And I think this is one of my favorite shots of Super Saiyan 3. So with the Akami out of the picture, everyone cooks it up to have yet another feast. And that's it. That's Dream 9. Did it prove itself to be the best anime crossover ever? In my opinion, yes. It has everything that I can ask for. A story that doesn't take itself too seriously, nods to fans, great character interactions, and a beautiful final action sequence. If I had to complain about some things, not all of the characters have a lot to do. I never even mentioned Vegeta's appearance, for example, because he just doesn't do anything. But with a cast this large, I can forgive it. So what do you think? Do you believe the Dream 9 is the best anime crossover? If not, comment below what crossover you prefer. And if you liked the video, like the video. And if you're new, subscribe. I was the Boomer Zoomer, and I'm signing off.